Hi, and welcome back to Pinky Boo Hauntings. I'll be your witchy host, Shy, and I'll be your guide to all things paranormal, weird, and spooky. I hope you've come to the coven today to be spooked, because I've got some scary stories for you. So why don't we just dive right in? Our first story is called My Grandmother Saw Something Strange at 3 a.m. in Our Village. This happened to my grandmother back in the 1970s. She lived in the same village I had mentioned in my other stories. Oh, I guess there were other stories from this village. Maybe we can get to those someday. A village with a small forest, big trees, and a lot of local beliefs. The place always had this strange atmosphere. Ooh, it definitely sounds like a weird place in a good way. I bet it's really pretty too. At that time, there was no water connection in houses. Everyone used a public pipeline to collect water, and water wasn't available all the time. My grandmother often went to collect water around 3 a.m. because fewer people were there and the water came faster. Sometimes she went alone. Nope, nope, nope. I get why she would do that, and I get it is probably a small village where everyone knows each other, but I don't think I could ever do that. One night, oh, here we go. After filling her pots, she was walking back home. A little far away, she saw a boy around 7 years old sitting on the sit out of a nearby house. That's not a little boy, is it? She could see him clearly, but his chin was down. Something about him felt strange. Yeah, 'cause that's not a little boy. I pretend he doesn't exist and get home with my water. She walked faster towards her home. Grandma is smart. I like her. Carrying the two pots, feeling confused. She had never seen this boy before, and in our village, everyone knows each other well. Her confusion grew when she remembered that this family who lived in this house was away on a pilgrimage for a week. So, who was that boy? A ghost? Or maybe something else. The next day, she asked the neighbors, but no one knew. After the family returned from their pilgrimage, she told them the story. They said, no way. According to my grandmother, she was 100% sure she saw the boy. Oh, I believe she saw that boy. What I'm not sure about is who or what he was. Your grandma feeling uneasy makes me think it wasn't a normal boy. Maybe he was just a lost soul or a spirit that once lived there. Let's move on from this village to a farm. Our next story is called Strange Experience Last Night on Our Farm. I live way up in the North Woods of Wisconsin, 20 minutes to Lake Superior. Very isolated. We have like 80 acres of dense forests and fields. We see wolves, coyotes, porcupines, etc. regularly. How do people live in areas like this? I don't think I could live in a place where wolves just randomly pop up. We have a hobby alpaca farm, and last night our guardian dog, who lives with the alpacas, was barking like crazy. Definitely different than his normal made eye contact with a deer bark. Yeah, when the dog is barking in a way you're not used to, it's always good to check in on them because it could be anything, including something attacking the alpaca or someone trespassing. We go to our son's room and open the window closest to the barn, and my husband says he hears two dogs barking. I listen. I definitely hear my dog, and then his echo, and then another dog barking. I was about to say it could have been a wolf, but then I remember they don't really bark like dogs do, so never mind. I then, without a doubt, hear like People? Like a group of people chatting socially, the sounds of music and laughter. I just stood there utterly confused about how or what I was hearing. My husband said he didn't quite hear the same thing, but heard strange sounds. He couldn't identify. He went out and our dog ran over tail wagging and happy to see him. Then ran back far into our fenced in alpaca field to keep barking his head off. My husband says he didn't hear anything while he was outside. The dog calmed down and stopped barking about 20 minutes later. While this could be something paranormal, I'm not gonna lie, this sounds more like the voices could have been traveling. I don't know how far others are from you, but sound can travel, so maybe that's what you heard. And there is always the chance there is a dog you couldn't see. Again, I don't obviously live in that area, so you would know what does and doesn't sound normal. No matter what it was, it would have been weird to hear randomly, that's for sure. While that one wasn't as scary as I thought it would be by the title, I hope our next one will bring the scares. It's called I Think Something Is in My House. Hello, all. I have been debating whether or not to post this, but it's getting to the point where I need others' thoughts on this situation. I live with my husband and cat. When we first moved in, I didn't really feel anything off with the house, but after a year and some change, things seemed different. I wanted to ease you into a false sense of peace, so the scares would hit harder. It started off as just a weird feeling, like I'm being watched, especially upstairs. Then, every once in a while, I'd see something peeking from the doorway. Ew, I hate when they do that. Or hear something odd that definitely wasn't the house. My husband has seen and heard this too, but is too afraid to acknowledge it that much. That's fair. Some people can't handle the paranormal activity, and it's just easier for them to not acknowledge it. This next part is why I decided to post this. I'd say around a week or two ago, the energy in this house has shifted drastically. Something's off. I don't remember what happened. Poor memory. Girl, same. Well, it's more like I have the best and worst memory at the same time, but that doesn't matter. Let me get back to this story. But it feels like a doorway was opened or something was in it. There's a heavy, dark feeling, and I've been seeing a shadow figure quite frequently. It doesn't feel very friendly. It's giving off an unsettling vibe, like it doesn't want us here. Thankfully, we're moving, but that's not the point. I guess what I'm trying to figure out is how or why it's here. What did we do to invite this thing in? It freaks me out, and I'm not the one to normally be afraid of the paranormal. If that thing seems annoyed that you're there, it was probably something that was already there and you just disturbed it. I know you said you're moving soon, but you need to cleanse the house and yourself. Especially yourself, though. I'd also firmly tell that thing it is not allowed to follow you outside of that house. That it needs to stay where it is because you do not want to take the chance that that thing decides to stay with you. All right, let's move on to our last story for today. It's called This Happened When I Was About 16 or 17 in my hometown of Dunoon, Scotland. I was walking home after seeing my girlfriend at the time, and she lived near a graveyard. I used to not want to live anywhere near a graveyard, but now that I've gotten more comfortable with my abilities, I don't mind it anymore. I've even made friends with the spirits that hang around this old graveyard near me. I'd love to go out there sometime and talk with them with a spirit box or something like that. But that might have to wait because I kind of feel uncomfortable going to it. I'm not fully sure how I feel about doing like a video yet. Sorry, let me get back to the story. There's a little shortcut that I always took, a narrow path that runs right beside the graveyard with a wall that's just below my shoulder. I'm 5'9". I'd walked that path loads of times, usually looking at my phone or listening to tunes. Nothing weird ever happened. But this one night, I suddenly got this strange feeling. Not panic or anything, just that instinct that makes you look up. Ooh, there's a spirit nearby trying to get your attention. So I look to my left, over the wall, and there's a face staring up at me. Oh, you know, never mind. That would have scared the shit out of me. Just a face, not moving, not hiding, just looking straight at me from the other side of the wall. And then it was gone. It was like I blinked and it vanished. Nope, nope, nope. I hate when they want to be face to face with you and just stare at you. Like, I get they're probably just curious and maybe not even realize you can see them, but it's still weird when they do it. I don't like living people staring at me, so why would a ghost be any different? Now, I know it could have been a kid. Would there be a random kid just hanging out in a graveyard at night? Or even a random person having a look? I'm not trying to claim it as 100% paranormal. I feel like if someone was there, you'd hear something giggling, whispering, even some leaves rustling, something. But the face didn't look right. That's the part that stuck out to me. Something about it was off. Like the proportions or the expression. I find it hard to describe. I wish I could draw so I could sketch it. And the way it disappeared didn't make sense. I didn't hear footsteps, and I didn't see anyone duck down or anything like that. It was just there 1 second and gone the next. See, I'm telling you, if it was a real person, you'd see or hear something. It's the only potential paranormal experience I've had. And I've always wondered if I actually had a paranormal experience or if my mind played tricks on me in the dark. But, anyways, thanks for reading. I plan to go back to the graveyard one day just to vibe it out, as I moved away from the town now, but still visit. Yeah, you probably came face to face, literally, with a ghost at that graveyard, which it doesn't seem like it scared you, which is a good thing, obviously. Probably just a thing they do, and you just happen to see them. So they probably weren't even trying to be creepy, just not used to people seeing them. Might even be why they disappeared so quickly. Well, we've run out of stories for today. I didn't plan on it, but I think I've left the creepiest for last. What do you think? Or am I the only one that gets really creeped out by the ghost just staring at me? Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to rate and review the podcast, as well as like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. And maybe even share with others so that we can grow this coven. Oh, and please send in your stories. I'd love to hear from you guys and what paranormal experiences you've had happen to you. The email will be in the show notes below. But for now, the coven is adjourned. See you next time. Bye.